Hey guys, just really quickly, just before this episode gets started, I do want it to be known that this was recorded like late Monday, early Tuesday, I believe. So obviously the Nets are on like a 10-game streak now, and a couple other things happened. But we did want to manage to at least get something out before the new year, before this year ended. So just a quick heads up on that. Really excited for the new year. Can't wait to see what happens with the pod and any other thing that happens in 2023. Hope you guys all have a good new year and yeah, enjoy the rest of the episode.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Going for Three podcast. This is episode 36. As always, my name is Percy, and with me we have the AOB advocator of buckets, Chris Collins. How we feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Basketball is alive and well. A bunch of buckets been gotten, and we're here to talk about them.
Yeah, and also for any viewers who do celebrate it, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whichever you prefer. And speaking of the holidays, we had the Christmas Day games from the NBA. Some pretty good action from Christmas Day.
Depending on who you were, if you were rooting for anybody in particular, it could have been bad. If you know what I mean. Yeah. You're voting for those boys in the purple and gold. It's never hasn't been good times lately.
Yeah. Or at least one other team, probably in the grand scheme of things. But no, Bucks fans had a rough night that night as well. Had a rough time.
So I mean, yeah, we can go through them a little bit. So I mean, the Bucks game, like you said, was the first game of the day, correct? Yeah. No. Actually, no. The Philly.
Philly played, the Sixers game.
Philly played New York in the first game of Christmas Day. I mean, James Harden and Joel Embiid. The main takeaway that I got from that game, their chemistry looked like it was at an all-time high. They were evolving for real, man. Like they were looking for each other, playing off each other's strengths. Joel was still the focal point, but like James was able to be like that primary facilitator, and they looked good, man. They really did, and they're supposed to be getting Maxey back here pretty soon, so yeah, man, they can be a scary team. I mean, we expect them to be a contender, but I would suspect that most of us have them. If there was an ordered list, they would probably be at the bottom of that real contender in the East list. Like I imagine most teams would have Philly, or not Philly, but Boston and Milwaukee ahead of them. But I mean, if James Harden is going to get back, and be playing at this level, and Joel's going to be playing at this MVP level that he's been at the past couple of years, hey, they'll be in that conversation.
Yeah, especially with like I said, over the past stretch of games, like Harden's passing has been he's been going dumb, and it's like if he can, the passing really much like, I mean, you're playing with a guy like Embiid or just a team like this with like so much shooting and the potential that anyone else can also have a good night themselves. Like obviously the passing's gonna like work its way in, and that's gonna be a focal point probably moving forward if he stays with them. But the scoring was really like what you said, like it was the one that they really wanted to focus on, getting him back acclimated, kind of having him be like one of those top options in the pecking order. And this is probably like one of the games leading in that direction. I mean, he almost had 30 with 13 assists. That's a pretty solid outing. And then Embiid, giving you that close to 40 range, 35. Had some nice bench scoring. Melton had 15. Niang had 16. Pretty big game in the grand scheme of things for their layout.
I also think it's important to point out the free throw attempts for Harden. I feel like a lot of the times when we were criticizing his play with Philly in the past was really just talking about what looked like his physical limitations. His whole game. Well, I mean, I don't want to shortchange him. A lot of his game was predicated on, the quick twitch, breaking you down on the perimeter and either getting to you for free throws or finishing, or hitting you with that step back. That really became like a large part of his game, especially like when
Yeah.
D'Antoni got there, damn near the majority of it. So to see that he's able to still have that burst and still have that aggressive mentality as far as getting to the free throw line, that's very important too. Um, excuse me. And then as far as the Knicks, I mean, hey, Knicks are better than I thought they would be. Um,
Yeah. It's a
RJ
weird
Barrett has a
team,
tournament.
honestly.
Well, here's RJ Barrett's not probably gonna be this Omega superstar that the two guys in front of him are, in Zion and Ja. He's probably not gonna be that. But what they are is a team full of, in my opinion, fringe level all star players, and they play hard. You got Jalen, you got Julius, you got RJ. And then they have a bunch of other like nice complementary pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, they've even got guys that are not even playing, which is they have a lot of guys that they're not playing that are very talented, and they either need to play them or move them, but they don't need to just keep them on the bench. That's not serving the team, and it's not serving them. And they got Derrick Rose, who didn't play on Christmas. Cam Reddish didn't play on Christmas. Evan Fournier didn't play on Christmas. Like, these are all DMPs. So
Yeah. But just comes down to Tibbs, I think. I think Tibbs is just I don't know what he wants to do. Like a rotation where you have three bigs like playing like extended like Mitchell played 29, I think Hardenstein was 15 and Jericho Sims played 12. Neither of those guys are shooting the rock. So in the grand scheme of things, you had like that's why Julius Randle ends up looking like he has to just literally carry the bulk on nights that Brunson probably isn't going for dang near 30, 40 points because there's really no help for him on the interior. He's doing a lot of the interior work, and then Brunson and Barrett, do whatever they
I
try to
mean,
do. But
I personally don't have a big issue with who he's playing. I think they have a nice mix between the three. I mean, if you got three guys on your team that can get you 18 to 20 points every night, that's a pretty good mix, and I think they do with that with
yeah,
Brunson, Randall, Barrett, and they have a bunch of complementary pieces. I think they're a decent team. I mean, I was just saying from a standpoint of I don't believe in just sitting talent. Either play them or move them because it's a waste.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And there's plenty of teams that could use Derrick Rose scoring off the bench. Plenty of teams that could use Evan Fournier shooting, and definitely a couple of teams that could just use a young potential player in Cam Reddish. So I don't know. Stop holding them hostage. Either way,
yeah. That was crazy
moving
though.
on.
Yeah. Hmm.
The second game of Christmas was the Lakers versus the Mavericks. In very predictable fashion because Rob Pelinka hates the Lakers. Um, and the team is just not built to and the team is not built to win, like I said, because Rob Pelinka hates the Lakers. But yeah, Lakers play the Mavericks. They lose 124 to 115, which I'm not gonna say that it was closer than it really was because they did make a run, but to start off the game as well as they did, the Lakers, I mean, to be playing decent defense, LeBron being aggressive, they're up by 11 at the half and get blown out in the third quarter and outscored in the third quarter by 30 points. With the Mavericks scoring 51 points in the quarter, the most I think they've ever scored in the quarter for their franchise, if I'm not mistaken, is wild. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy, nasty work. Shouts out to to the no pump fakes pod. Crazy nasty work. But like when I watch the Lakers play and how we know that the way to play with LeBron that's proven at least a little bit is to get some shooters. He's going to be able to draw in help from defenses, maybe even double teams if he's going crazy. And he's obviously an all-time great finisher at the rim. Get some shooters. I mean, it's easy. It's proven. I don't understand why it's not understood. And to watch the Dallas Mavericks, who it seems have at least 4 or 5 really good shooters, it's frustrating. As a watcher of the Lakers to see how we don't have any shooters. Like I look at the Mavericks and they have Hardaway and Dinwiddie, Bertans, and Kleba. It's just so many. I'm sure I'm leaving other shooters out.
It
Probably
would.
Christian Wood can shoot. I mean, Finney Smith can shoot. Reggie Bullock is a shooter. You know what I mean? Like, my
They are
goodness,
they all over the place.
they have so many shooters, and we don't have a single shooter. I like Lonnie Walker. He's a good young wing, and he can shoot. I like Austin Reeves. He's a nice role player. He can make a shot, but they're not shooters. And for us to be expecting that from them is a real testament to the construction of our team. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like it's the consistency factor with you guys. Cause I feel like random nights like Thomas Bryant can catch fire. You got random guys that like even though they have the ability to shoot, it's not like I said with the Mavericks. It's not like they have a guy that literally like eats, breathes, and eats, sleeps, and breathes the 3-point line to an extent to where it's like, okay, bet you can't leave this guy open at all. Like Tim Hardaway isn't getting guarded the same as like at this point in his career, like a Troy Brown or something like that. It's just two different parallels.
I mean, but Troy Brown's never been a shooter. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to be a Kyle Korver, JJ Redick, type of level shooter to get respect. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we just don't have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we don't have any shooter, any 3-point shooter that's over 37%. Maybe Austin Reeves, but Austin doesn't. One, he doesn't have the quick trigger, in my opinion, as far as to be like that type of shooter, and he doesn't shoot uh, like a lot of open threes. Honestly, he passes up a lot of shots, and I'm not like mad at that. But so yeah, okay. So right now he's shooting 40% from three, but he's
Which
only
is
taking 3
crazy.
attempts.
Yeah. So I didn't know they would shoot 40. I thought Matt Ryan was the guy that like led the team, but he got released. So I thought that was like it just drops from there.
So it's to the point like if I was coaching, we would be working on Austin Reeves' off ball movement, going through screens and all that, and I would be telling him to shoot. You get an open 3-point shot, shoot it, because you're the best. You're the best 3-point shooter on the team. I mean, three attempts isn't terrible. It's not any like real volume, but 3 attempts on 40% is real. Is what I will say. It's real enough. So
Yeah. Like there is, like I said, there's some value there, or there is some intrigue to that because if you're shooting 40% on 3 attempts, you might want to up that by at least two, maybe three. See if he's still hovering around at least over 30, because that's like kind of like that's guard up territory. At least around
you know,
30,
yeah.
34, it's guard up territory.
If he's shooting 40%, yeah, like you said, he should at least be taking 4 to 5 threes a game, in my opinion. At least, well, yeah, at least, but not much, not very much more. I think 4 to 5 would be a perfect number.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shit, hey, Lonnie gonna shoot that thing. Lonnie gonna shoot that ball. But like I said, he can hit a three, but I wouldn't classify him as a shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, right now he's shooting. He's damn near shooting 39%. So he's damn near shooting 40% on 5 attempts a game.
Yeah.
And that's where Lonnie. All these other guys that are shooting don't need to be shooting. Pat Bev don't need to be shooting. Well, I tell you what, Russell don't need to be shooting no damn threes. He took 5 threes in the Christmas game for some stupid reason. Like he can shoot.
Yeah.
Boy. Either way, though, this team is too
Uh,
reliant on Anthony Davis.
yeah, you can kind of see that a lot more. They're one man led to an extent.
And then it's even just like they're not even versatile. Like I don't understand how you like. Yes, the Mavericks have shooters and they can get hot, but 51 is just I don't know. I don't know how you get blown off the court like that. Like you're not guarding the 3-point attempts. It was confusing to me. And they they're back to sucking. I was on the train when AD was healthy, but now that he's not, I'm back off the train. So
Yeah, it's a crazy world where you're letting Tim Hardaway be like. I mean, Tim Hardaway's he's a bucket now. Don't get
I
me
was about to say,
wrong,
I was
but
about to say, I mean, that's not.
26, yeah, 26 points is like, I mean, like he's
I
had
ain't gonna
games where
disrespect him.
he's had games where he's like just giving buckets, but it's like I don't know.
No, we can't disrespect Tim. Tim probably averaged about 18 to 20 points at some point in his career. So I don't know. I feel like if
Oh
you
yeah, he had a stretch of cooking, but with a team like with that type of defense, and I feel like the blueprint for the
which type
Mavericks is almost like so like the
what
Lakers
type
have
of what
like somewhat good defense or somewhat.
the crazy thing is I think that was an anomaly. That was the first couple of weeks of the season, and then AD came back, so he helped a whole lot. But the team's really not that good defensively. I don't. I mean, they were, but they're
Yeah.
not anymore. So it's like you know,
So probably what it seems like the Mavericks were like your blueprint is almost like it's almost like you kind of like have to stop Luca or like you kind of like let Luca do what he wants to do and then make sure nobody else touches the ball because Luca's gonna tire himself out. I feel like by that standard, I mean obviously you still have to worry about his passing ability, but if everybody else is like crowded and smothered, it lessens the chance of Luca getting damn near the triple double which he can possibly get on any given night at this point. Then we just didn't want to guard nobody. like Christian Wood gave you 30. That's a bucket too. But it's like you gotta pick your poison when it comes to that stuff. There's like a lot of scoring on that team when given the opportunity to put the shot up. So if you smother everybody else and you're like, all right, bet Luka got to beat us.
I mean, they
You
weren't
still
playing any.
you still might lose, but
They weren't playing any size. I mean, Thomas Bryant didn't play a lot. I think he's kind of still hurt from the Hornets game, and then Wayne Gabriel. I mean, only didn't play a lot, but when he was in, he didn't play well. So,
yeah,
and I mean, when they did have time, I mean, they were getting killed by threes. So, I mean, Ham went with a small lineup to try to, I guess, maximize the effectiveness of a closeout. As a result, I mean, they still were smacking threes, but then they were getting out rebounded too. So it was just bad all around. I ain't really trying to talk about them no more. They
yeah,
suck.
yeah. They move past that. That was a wild game, but
Thought I was
what
gonna
was
be
I gonna say?
entertained. Either way, though, the very next game was the Bucks
Mhm.
versus the Celtics. An undermanned Bucks team, obviously missing Chris Middleton after he came back, made his debut and played a couple games. He re-aggravated it. Well, not re-aggravated, but he injured. I want to say his knee, falling on like a wet spot or some shit like that. Crazy shit.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
Wishing him a speedy recovery, but I mean, Boston, took the Celtics down or took the Bucks down. I want to say 139 to 118.
Yep,
Yeah, so that's a blowout to be honest. But I mean,
they were
these
cooking.
teams get up to these teams get up to play each other. If I'm not mistaken, this was also Robert Williams' first game, right, of the season, correct?
Uh, yeah, I believe
Yeah, I want
so.
to say it
Or
was.
at least I don't think he's played since the early stages of the early stages. Actually, he
no,
might not have
yeah,
played
no,
until
he
all
hadn't
year.
played. He hadn't played. He hadn't played at all season.
Yeah,
They also had,
yeah.
yeah, they also had Al Horford in the lineup too. So I mean, they had their size to deal with Giannis. Um, and I mean, these teams get up to play each other. I imagine at this point. So I mean, obviously
Yeah,
Tatum had
gotta
40.
love Shippy too.
Yeah, and understandably so. You know, these teams at this point they've got history. So
Yeah,
um, it's hard to gauge this as far as for the Bucks because obviously they're missing Middleton. But I mean, Middleton, it seems like he hasn't been healthy for a minute. I don't know. I need
yeah,
him to get the lineup and see if he can get back to that form that he had when they won the championship because they're going to need that against this Celtics team to you know think about potentially getting past them because I mean Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are literally just continuing to get better. Jason Tatum is better than he was last year. I mean, you can tell watching him play this year that he really worked on his strength and like his finishing ability around the rim. That's been
Yeah,
a weakness for him for a while. You know, what I mean, he
building
has the shot
contact and
making,
stuff.
he has the scoring, but like he wasn't a great finisher. He's been working on that for the past 2 years, to be honest. And I mean, you can see the progress. I mean, he banged on Giannis.
Man,
Speaking of which, Jason Tatum banged on a good amount of people. We don't talk about it,
yeah, yeah,
but
he's got a Bron dunk. He's got Giannis. I don't know who. I forgot. I'm trying to think about who else. I don't know if he's dunked
I'm
on
sure there's
Aiden
plenty
yet.
of other people on that list. I'm sure there are
Yeah,
plenty of people else on that list.
yeah.
Um, let's see, but like I said, these two teams are probably going to have to see each other to get to where they want to go. And I think when I look at this Bucks team, like yes, they're not healthy, but also it's like when a team wins a chip, I always give them benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, they got blew out, but I don't really put that much stock into that for them because they've already been to the mountaintop. So
Yeah, like it's not an
they just got,
outlier for them. It's something to think about, but not like a precursor.
yeah, they just got to get healthy. They got to figure out they got to figure out a better way to guard Tatum. Can't be letting him average 40. But I mean,
Yeah,
they'll be all right. Both teams will be fine.
yeah. Because I was thinking, like in a way, like obviously the Bucks are still probably going to be like I said, like, they're still favorites to win again based off of like what they've done in the past. But after a while, like I do kind of have to think like in certain cases, I know there are certain teams where it's like okay, like, they do have if they have Middleton, it changes a lot of things. This iteration of the Celtics is kind of hard for me to say like okay, Middleton being back changes the scoring barrage that Tatum and Brown can go on. I mean, Middleton,
You know,
he's a
he's not
defender, but I
gonna
don't think, yeah,
he's not gonna stop them. But the
yeah,
problem is he's that other aspect to what the Bucks what they are. I mean, if we think about, the year that they won the championship, there were games where he was going toe to toe with Kevin Durant as far as shot making goes. I
he
mean,
was
he's another
closing it
guy
out.
that's yeah, and he's another guy that's an average 20. He's arguably the second best player on the team. You know what I mean? So it probably is. So, and
Yeah,
he's 6'6" to 6'8". He's one of them. He's one of them wings. He's on the lower end, of course, but he's one of those all-star level wings that can get you buckets. He's a 3-level scorer. Like he's important. He's a competent
yeah.
defender. I'm not gonna say he's locked down, but like
You get to a stop.
you can put him on Tatum and Brown and be comfortable, absolutely comfortable with that. So you know he's very important. I mean that's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Should be interesting to see what happens because like the Celtics, like you said, they're just getting better and better. I think Tatum has like 40 plus point games this year, which I think is his career high. He's cooking.
Yeah, he's been good for sure.
He cooking with hot grease.
But the next game of that day, Christmas Day, was the Grizzlies going against the shorthanded Warriors, and
This was a
to my,
game.
to my great, well, I guess, well, yeah, depending on what you expect.
Entertainment wise, yeah.
Yeah, to my great disappointment, the Grizzlies lost by 123 to 109. So was that 14 points?
Yeah, somewhere around that thing. Let me see.
Crazy how much shit they talked just to get blasted like that. Wow, shit,
Yeah,
wow,
14.
wild. They're missing.
Yeah, it was.
They're arguably missing their best two players in Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And
Even Poole
you
got ejected,
that too, that too.
so they
And for
lost
you
they
to lose
lost
that
three
game,
key things. Yeah,
and I would usually say like yes, it's the regular season, but like it's just how much shit they was talking. Like specifically about this game, they wanted y'all on Christmas and see y'all on Christmas, and Dylan Brooks was talking about he want Clay. He want that matchup, all this other just yapping at the mouth, yapping the gums.
yeah.
And then to lose. It's just like, come on, against a shorthanded team when you have everybody. That Desmond Bain was back. Jaron Jackson was there. Dylan Brooks was there. Ja was there, and y'all lose. Come on now, y'all look like y'all. It looks bad.
Yeah, especially when you let DiVincenzo pretty much be the one of the like more clutcher players. I mean, DiVincenzo obviously that's a solid role player, but I don't think he's really been doing much since he got with Golden State. Like here and there, he's been having some games, but he he stepped up. Ty Jerome had 14. Like there's a lot of things where like yeah, if a team is shorthanded in this situation, the Grizzlies should have definitely been like more more adamant on like taking this game because there's not many chances you get like okay Curry Wiggins is out, then Poole gets ejected because he's talking to the ref. And he had 32, so he probably could have had more than that if he actually stayed in the game. So it's like you had a lot of chances to be like, all right, bet this is our game, we can take this, and it just never happened. It just did not happen for them.
Hey man, they talk a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. Prove it.
Yeah.
So
And
all that talk.
people were mad at Clay for the majority of it, like after like during the game what he was doing, and then the post game
Oh
they
no,
make it seem like
during the game he has to do that. After bro,
yeah.
dude, you know how much shit Dylan Brooks talks about Klay Thompson?
Oh
He
yeah,
has to do
Clay
that.
Clay is tired of that man for sure. Clay is tired of bro. He's tired of bro.
You got to do that. Now, I'm not necessarily mad that Dylan is talking, but it just looks bad when y'all talk like that, and then
To get
in
beat
a
like that
situation like
is
this, y'all don't like they should have blew them out by 20. I'm gonna keep it a stat. They should have blew them out by 20.
yeah.
That's just what I think. I mean, there's no way that you're letting Jordan Poole look like Steph Curry. I mean, they didn't even shoot good percentages. Let's keep it real. Like they both shot. Jordan and Clay both shot under 50%, under 40% probably. Clay definitely under 40%. Under 40%. So
Yeah.
it's not like they were just like splashing everything.
They
Like
made him work. It was just they couldn't get no buckets.
yeah, like it was a. I mean, they was getting buckets. It just weren't doing sufficient, which is fine. But in this type of situation, where like they're really the main offensive threats. I mean, like you said, Dante had a good game, but those two guys are the guys you need to focus on. And I don't know, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
We got. Desmond played bad his first game back, so I mean that's also understandable. He was taking a lot of wild shots, in my opinion, for to be your first game back. Wild 3-point attempts, shots, bad attempts. So
Yeah. I don't know if that was like some heat check shit or some heat check stuff, but yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is kind of similar to the Bucks game in a way. It's like obviously like, everybody knows the Grizzlies are still very much going to be like a competitive team, but there are certain games on your schedule that are just going to be like people kind of expect you to at least make the most of it. And in this case, this was one of them, especially with it being like a Christmas Day game. It's like this is their first one ever, right? Their first Christmas Day game.
I can't confirm that.
Yeah. Or at least I think it is. I don't know. I noticed that the Hornets is like the last team that haven't played on Christmas, but I think this might have been their first up to this current moment. But yeah, that's definitely something that they gonna be thinking about that one a lot more than the playoffs. They gonna be thinking about that one.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It looks bad when you talk that much and you lose.
Especially for
And then
Dylan.
even before the game, Ja too. He had the interview where the woman asked him, what team you got to worry about. And he talking about the Celtics, and she's like, so nobody in the West. He's like, nah, we good. We nobody in the West. We ain't worried about the West. Like, bro, you act like you ain't even got to the conference finals yet. Can you get there? Shit is bro, shit is crazy. It's like I don't mind them talking shit, like the way they're talking is just like illogical. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks is using the word dynasty, but you ain't won no chip. Like it's just weird. Like it's
Yeah.
just weird. Like what do you mean you're not worried about nobody? Like you haven't got there. What do you mean? It's craziness. Either way.
Yeah.
Ugh. You got anything else on them boys?
Uh, and that's just bad look for Autumn, man. Bad look overall.
Just some weirdo shit. Either way, the last game of the Christmas day was the Phoenix Suns versus the Nuggets, and the Nuggets were able to pull it out. Nikola Jokic, standard crazy stat line: 41 points, 15 assists, 15 rebounds. Aaron Gordon also chipped in at 28 points, dunking on everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Uh,
Man,
and Murray had 26. And Michael Porter didn't have the best game, but he did play, and I think that's important to mention. This is probably as close as this team has been to full strength in a while, so I think that's important as well. Um, the Suns, uh, Devin Booker got kind of hurt again or
yeah,
re-aggravated.
re-aggravated the grind.
So I mean, it's kind of hard to really take it a lot of stock out of that because they're so reliant on Devin to be that scorer. And when he's not there, it's like, okay, we're in trouble because
Yeah,
Mikal Bridges is not going to be the best scorer on this type of championship team. He's just not. Chris Paul doesn't. Not only does Chris Paul not want to be that, I don't think he can be that at this point of his career. Like he doesn't have the speed or the burst that he does anymore, or even like the strength. So like I think the desire to score really isn't there with him anymore, especially during the regular season. And then DeAndre Ayton just sometimes is just not aggressive, which is weird. But I don't know. They need Devin Booker to really stand any type of chance at all, honestly.
yeah, and it sucks because I feel like Aiton has potential to be so dominant, but he just doesn't. I mean, he's still. I mean, even it is. I mean, it's not terrible stat. I mean, look at the
Oh, I'm not
numbers. It's
saying
like 22
he's
and
not a
16 ain't
bum.
bad. Yeah,
No, he even now, like even right now, he's like a fringe, like all-star level consideration center. But I just feel like with his athleticism, because he's fairly athletic, with his size, he's 7 feet tall, and with his skill, like he can shoot a midi. Like he has a decent midi, he has a decent touch around the rim. He's mobile. I'm pretty sure he can finish with both hands. I
yeah,
just he should just be. I mean, he should be this. He should be the second best player on the team. I feel like I said that even last year. Like for the Suns to get where they need to go, they need him to be the second best player on the team. And
yeah,
a lot of nights you don't know who the second best player on the team is. Like it at this point, it doesn't. It absolutely should not be 38-year-old Chris Paul, and it probably shouldn't be Mikal Bridges. It should be DeAndre Ayton, the guy that's getting paid the super bag,
yeah.
the big bag.
Because for the guy
You
that
know.
for him to be a guy that you messed the contract of when he definitely could have been playing for the Pacers right now.
I mean, I
It's
get that
it's
they didn't really have any other options. If you lose DeAndre Ayton, who
yeah,
you gonna get? I get that, but still, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't think there's
they'll
anybody
still
else
get to the
going to
playoffs.
seem like a step up like that to fill that spot for him.
No, there's nobody unless Mikal turned into Kawhi Leonard.
You just wake up and turns into him.
I mean, yeah, I'm really just curious to see this team back in the playoffs, see what they do, um, and just to see how the dynamic's going to work. Just because Chris is just so much older. Also, I just want to touch on something because
Yep.
the slander that Chris Paul be getting at times be frustrating the hell out of me because no, bro is like 5'10", 5'11". He might not be 6 feet tall. You want a 38, 6 foot, non not really athletic, especially at least not now for sure. A 5'11", 38 grounded Chris Paul to be scoring more or leading the team in scoring. Like, what do you? I don't understand what people expect out of this. Even like when they talk about historically, like, bro, he's small. Like, dude
Yeah.
is like he's 5'11", 6 feet. Like, what do you? He's had great great playoff moments. I know people don't want to acknowledge them. And everybody wants to act like just because they don't have rings, they don't have any success. He's had great playoff
Yeah.
moments. In a game 7 game winner over the Spurs in the playoffs. He closed out the Clippers last year in game 6, 38 points to lead his team to the finals. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of these, honestly. I mean, he did the same thing against the Jazz when he was on the Rockets to lead them to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. I mean, he was splashing the Warriors until he got hurt. Like, he's had good and great moments in the playoffs. So people call him CP0. That shit's irritating.
Yeah, I think it's just that's the modern look. Because I don't even really understand it. Like, for him to be that old and still be producing like this, like it's especially at his position where like guys really don't play that long at that age doing what he's doing. It's kind of crazy.
It's never been before seen, honestly. Especially like a couple of years ago when they got to the finals and he was 6 to 35, and the way he was playing, yeah, he's worse now, of course, than he was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's just I had somebody literally tell me that Trae Young was overrated and a trash basketball player on social, basically, because he was putting up numbers on a bad team. So then I asked this person, I said, but his team has made the playoffs the last 2 years. Does that not make them a good team? And the person laughed and was like, so if they make the playoffs, they're a good team. And I was like, is that not how that works? I was genuinely confused. Like, I feel like if you make the playoffs,
That was like an empty statement for sure. Because playoffs is definitely for good teams.
Good teams. Yeah, I didn't say it was a great team, but I mean, if you make the playoffs,
you're
good.
right.
You're a good team. Now, I'll get if like maybe you make the playoffs and you were under 500, but both years he was over. Both years he won more games than he lost, and they made the playoffs. What are you talking about? he like the stats are empty. I'm like, how is 30-9 empty? Like, it's shit. So like, I'm bro. At this point also like I'm so far off of the whole empty stats. Like, it has to be such a particular situation that I'm examining for me to think that your stats are empty, because that's just not how it works. Like, somebody has to score points. So if you're scoring points, then it ain't empty. And especially like in today's game, like if you're scoring points on good efficiency, so like right now, so like the Thunder are not in the playoffs. Shea is averaging 30. His percentages are crazy. Crazy.
Oh, he's cooking.
I think his true shooting is like 60%, is like 60 or 600 or whatever it is. It's just insane. And they don't and also the Thunder don't have great shooting. So the spacing isn't really there. And the Thunder also don't have another really elite player. So like the attention for other players isn't there. Everything is going to Shea. And he's still buckets, Boquitos. It's crazy, man. Oh man, it bothers me, man. I'm ranting. I'm sorry. I had to for a little bit. I'm gonna go on another one in a little bit later on. But yeah, that was that last Christmas Day game. But did you want to have anything to say about the Suns and Nuggets?
That's nothing bad. I do have a question, more or less, regarding this Nuggets team at this point.
Yeah.
Do games like this and Jokic's play increase the chances of thinking that they can kind of resemble? Cause I don't want to say like the bubble year, because I feel like they did have a high ranking seat before that, but like, do you think
that's what I expect.
Do you think get back to what they used to be? Yeah.
This is what I expect. No. We don't get to praise Jokic the way we praise him. Give him 2 MVPs. Talk about how much he's carrying the team, and talk about he's missing his other 2 best players. We don't get to do all that, and then when he has his 2 best players, alter expectations. If the Nuggets don't get to a conference finals this year, it is a disappointment. Utterly. The Warriors right
Yeah.
now are hurt and injured. The Lakers are trash. The Pelicans are young. The Trailblazers are just inconsistent, and I wouldn't take them over the Nuggets. Like who in the West can I look at and just and comfortably say, oh, they can beat they're somebody that you should watch out for. Who can I look at that and say, who even in the West besides Anthony Davis can even guard Jokic? Because listen, I'm not gonna hear that Draymond Green shit. He guarded him on a couple situational possessions because Jokic had so much responsibility to score, facilitate everything, and even try to defend. Like the
Buddy was
responsibility was so
gassed.
much. Yeah, like you tell me he's gonna have Michael Porter, he's gonna have Jamal Murray with him. Like it's going to be different. You know what I mean? Aaron Gordon is increasing his play now because he's also having less responsibility and he's just able to operate with his chemistry with Jokic, which those two have great chemistry. It's actually amazing to watch. But
Wild.
yeah, man, listen, finals or conference finals is the expectation because this Jokic is a better version of he than he was in the bubble. This Aaron Gordon is a better version. He wasn't in the bubble, but this is a better version of him in the past. And I mean, Jamal Murray is coming into form. I mean, Michael Porter is still coming back from a little bit more, but I mean, yeah, I mean, this this is a better team than they were when they went to the bubble as far as supporting cast as well. I mean, they had Jeremy Grant, but I kind of chopped Aaron Gordon and Jeremy Grant very similar, especially at that time. Maybe not Jeremy Grant now. He's expanded his game and well rounded himself way more. But I mean, this team has Kentavious Caldwell Pope. They have Bruce Brown. They have Bones Highland. Like they've got guys. They've got nice supporting guys. You know what I mean? And also, their starters are going to be playing heavy minutes anyway. The starters are going to be playing high 30s anyway. Because one, they're young.
You'll play 44, so
Yeah,
that's definitely going to be a possibility.
yeah. So like, and Jamal's going to play 40 if he's within health range. He's going to be playing 40. Even Michael Porter played 30. So yeah, I know. Like I said, conference finals expectations. Two-time MVP, bro. Like think about what we were talking about with Giannis when he won the two MVPs and he wasn't getting there. We were killing him.
Yeah, he was crucified.
Now, granted, he had some bad performances in the playoffs before. The Raptors, that shit. Um, the Heat, the year after, he had some bad performances. Jokic has performed well in the playoffs, at least offensively. But even still, it's just like I just can't. We can't give him all this praise, And then when he gets his squad back, temper the expectations.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's a top 10 player in the league, and he has a supporting cast. So
Yeah, because that's one of the factors that people kind of weigh out. Because I mean, obviously, like it's like they're obviously one of the teams where like you look at him and it's like, okay, yeah, when healthy, and then even at this point, shoot, I think Aaron Gordon at this point, like on certain nights, can possibly be like that second option. Just to make it a little bit easier for Murray, because I mean, like you said, his connection with Jokic. I mean, Jokic makes it like 10 times easier for him, like easier than it's probably ever been for Gordon in his NBA career.
I
But
mean, yeah, I don't want to go that far though, particularly with him, just because I don't consider him a shot maker. I think the reason that Murray works so well with Jokic is because he is that elite type of shot. He's not like an elite facilitator, but he can be an elite shot maker, especially like in the playoffs. We saw it in the bubble. He was an elite shot maker. You know what I mean? And it works it works better that way anyway because Jokic is that facilitator. So they really just need a perimeter closer that can work off of and work with Jokic. And then you have you plug Aaron Gordon who is a great cutter, great slasher, can shoot a three, but that's not really what he's focusing on, especially this year as much. He's really just finishing around the rim, playing defense.
a lot of off ball movement.
Yeah, that's great for them. And then you have him, and then you have the other killer as far as perimeter wise in Michael Porter. You know what I mean? So like I said, the last time we saw this team healthy, they took the eventual champions the furthest that any other team had taken them. They took them 6 games. I think Miami took them 6 games, and I think that was it. If I'm not mistaken, they beat the Trailblazers in 5. They beat the Rockets in 5. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and that was a good Lakers team. I mean, that was a really good Lakers team. Obviously, a younger LeBron,
they was hooping locked in.
Younger LeBron, younger healthy AD, Rondo, KCP, Kuzma, THT, Caruso. Yeah, that was a solid Lakers team. But yeah, I mean, do you expect something different from this Lakers team?
I mean, I mean, obviously, I still expect him to be like really, really good because I mean, like Michael Porter when healthy is almost like
I mean, he's an all-star in my opinion.
Yeah, like if he can have a healthy string of a season, I feel like he can definitely be an all-star contention. Like he just gets that he's just that good getting buckets. But yeah, it's like always hard looking at the West because the East I feel like you kind of have like a select few teams every year that you can kind of look at and be like, all right, bet these teams can be like in this top 5 range. I mean, the West does too. I mean, like you got the Suns, you got to at this point probably inclusive to that the Nuggets. But sometimes it's like when you look at the injuries and then how they all like come back to fruition, then other teams come in. You got Grizzlies and Pels. It's like it just makes you question a lot of things. Shoot, even it's not what it's not top 5, but I feel like eventually like they will be knocking on the door because Ant's getting way better.
I mean, yeah, I'm not really. I ain't gonna worry about them right now. But my thing with it is like, who in the West is equipped to guard Jokic on an everyday basis when he has elite shot makers around him healthy?
There's not many.
It's not Draymond.
Not many.
It's not. It's not Zubac. Who? It's. I mean, yeah. Jonas could probably hold his own, but I still definitely like Jokic in that matchup. And it's like the Pelicans are just so young. Like Jokic not Jokic, Jonas would be like their playoff like veteran leader. I mean, yeah, they went last year and Brandon got some valuable experience, but just like, I don't know. They're still young. But they did go last year, so that does mean something. But even still, who else? I mean, DeAndre Ayton on Jokic, that might be barbecue chicken. And I like Ayton, but I mean,
He probably
you're not gonna be able to.
Jokic.
He's just not gonna be able to physically do anything as far as imposing his will on Jokic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, it's also something to be said that like Jokic improved, in my opinion, after he faced the best defensively. Like we got to remember, like that champion bubble year, like he was getting guarded by AD, and then when AD would go out, a very good defensive Dwight Howard was still there, coming in, bullying him, basically putting hands on him, frustrating him, as well as playing good defense on him. Like so, he had to deal with a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like that definitely helped him experience wise as well. I just don't know. There's no reason why they shouldn't be one of the favorites, in my opinion. Especially if like the Warriors are going to struggle how they are, and like I said, you have other teams that are just young, and when it comes to the Clippers, I just don't know. They just don't play enough together. I gotta see it. They got a lot of guys. They got the talent, but
yeah.
It is what it is, man. Did you have anything else for these Nuggets?
No, that's it.
These Nagitos. All right, bet it. So today, well, at the time of this recording, I should say, the Brooklyn Nets played tonight. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 125-117. And this was a team that a lot of people were really ready to write off, man. I mean, granted, we know why. People don't like Kyrie, people don't like KD, people don't like Ben Simmons. So
Yeah.
people were really ready to write them off. I didn't write them off. I will say, though, I was very critical of Ben Simmons as far as where I thought he could go from where he was and how bad it looked very early on. And
I had faith.
I, yeah, and I can say, that I can say I was wrong and I can come off of it because it didn't look good. But now this team is back and they're healthy. Kyrie's back in the lineup playing, focusing on basketball. KD's hooping out like always, and Ben is back in the starting lineup as well, playing well. They're getting contributions from TJ now. He's healthy and getting contributions.
Yeah, Warren's back. Yeah.
Yes, and then obviously Seth Curry is still there. Yuta Watanabe is there. And this team has not quietly because they've been getting attention, but they've won 9 in a row. So I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they currently sit what, third? Yeah, third in the West, or excuse me, third in the East, with a very real chance to get into that. It's not a far third. Boston has 10 losses, Milwaukee has 11, Brooklyn has 12. So
Yeah.
it's far fetched for them to, have that number one seed in their grasp. And the way that Kevin's locked in, bro. He really is. Like, the more I watch him in this win streak, I might be I don't want to say like susceptible to like exaggeration, but right now I would be starting to lean toward them a little bit in the East.
Oh, most definitely.
Just
I can
because
see
of
that.
one, I mean, just like one of how they're playing basketball. Like, one, they are playing some beautiful basketball. They're moving the ball. Kyrie, like I said, KD and Kyrie are locked in, especially KD, bro. Like, a week, like, give it another week or two, and you will start hearing the MVP like talks for KD. Like, he's going to get in there because, like, I mean, right now KD's averaging 35 and 6, if I'm not mistaken, on just some ridiculous efficiency. I mean, it's the shots that he's taking are going in a lot.
I mean, who they,
Like,
like,
let
it's
me
not even it's not even really the same as
yeah,
far as
yeah,
like
bro.
how he created spacing too.
Yeah, bro is shooting 56% from the field as a perimeter player. Mid ranges, 3-point shots, all of that. 56. That's
Career
insanity.
high.
Yes, it is insanity. 37% from three, 92% from the free throw line. One and a half blocks a game. Like, bro, crazy efficiency. Like, yes, the rebounds and assists aren't going to be as high as Giannis or Jokic, and even in certain situations, the points maybe for Giannis. I think Giannis is averaging like 32, but like the efficiency can't be ignored. 56 is a crazy percentage. I think that might be higher than Giannis, who is not a perimeter player.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
Giannis
like
is at
Giannis shooting 53.
53. Yeah, Kevin Durant needs to be in those MVP conversations. And also, here's the thing. You know, you know this, and I'm sure the pod knows this if they've been listening. I'm a LeBron guy. I've always been a LeBron guy. But what do they call me, PTP?
The AOB.
The AOB, the advocator of buckets. So even though LeBron is my guy and KD is the reason why LeBron don't have 6 rings, that's okay. I appreciate the buckets and I understand the greatness. This is one of the very best to ever touch the ball. Ain't 10 more talented guys if we getting serious. But that's another conversation that you're not ready
And
for.
people chose to forget about this man, which was very,
Oh no,
very.
the disrespect is insane. Oh, they couldn't wait for Curry to win that ring and just get crazy with the talk. Insanity.
That was more of a
It's
focal
really insane.
point than him winning it, than Curry winning it himself. Like it was like, okay, he's done it without him. KD gets dropped. I'm like, how does this affect him in any factor?
And then also, maybe a slight other tangent coming along. I really hate when people ignore context of things. You know, like people, and I know a lot of people aren't as much of a historian of the game, and people just look at numbers or a piece of paper or whatever, and they don't have any context. But like when people say like he couldn't lead a team to a championship, for one, for me, this is my mentality. If you were able to lead your team to the Western Conference Finals and be competitive, then you were good enough to win a championship. Not every, I mean, obviously, there's only one player or one team that's going to win a championship. But if you make it to the finals, I'm not going to say you weren't good enough to win a championship because like a series can go a number of amount of ways depending on all types of factors. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like also, bro, he went against fucking Braun and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
yeah. But I said that was like that was the equivalent of him going against Braun, Wade, and Bosch at that time would be like if the Grizzlies ran into the Boston Celtics and Kyrie was still playing in Boston. Like barring any issues, like it was Brown, Tatum, Kyrie peak level going against Ja, Bane, and Triple J. It's like the
I don't want to
youth, like the youth wasn't on their side in that series, more or less. Well, the experience was on their side in that series.
I mean, I don't want to disrespect those Thunder teams because I think the talent was definitely there. It's more so just saying like understanding. It's like so because he didn't beat LeBron, he's a bum or something. You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah,
AI didn't beat Shaq and Kobe, like is he a bum? Because Charles Barkley didn't beat Mike. You know what I mean? Like what are we talking about here? Like
yeah,
this whole ring culture is so toxic for the game. There's no appreciation for the game. And I like I said, I'm going on a tangent, but I don't understand how you can watch basketball and watch KD play and not just see a thing of beauty. Crazy.
yeah. Like the way he
Or to
plays
even
is just literally just it's a top tier way of for one viewing the game at this point in his career, and then for him to be at this stage and just seemingly getting better, the shots seeming easier for him. It should go as appreciated.
I mean he really work he's not really appreciated for how much he works on his craft as well. And I think that's mainly just because he's seemed like he's been polished for so long. But but the amount of work that's been put in by KD, I mean, he clearly works on his craft from all sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, like crazy work. But yeah, I mean, they're dangerous, man. And I gotta be honest, like I wouldn't have said this before, just because like he would have been stopping LeBron, but shit, LeBron ain't gonna be there no more. But I need Kevin to get a ring so this disrespect can stop. I need it because it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous, actually.
Yeah,
It's really
and with a
ridiculous.
team like this, I mean,
And
it's I feel like it's very possible.
I mean, bro, people were literally saying like it hasn't even been that long ago. It's been like 5 years. We saw who the best player on those championship Warriors teams was. It wasn't Steph Curry. I'm sorry. And yeah, we can bring up stats about who quote unquote was doubled more and this and that. But the best player on the court, there's really two answers. It was either LeBron James or KD. And KD won.
Yeah, and
So,
gamed
but it,
a couple of
but it
times in that series.
yeah, but it wasn't Steph Curry. I like Steph. And this Steph was not that Steph. That's also a facts. This current iteration of Steph is significantly, in my opinion, significantly better. And that's not to say
that history was confusing to me because I feel like people kind of thought that like from the initial run that Steph had, like I said, like he's more polished now, but that initial run, like the 2016 one, where like that was like his coming out party. I don't know if people got that confused as like the other like once KD got there because they said on multiple occasions that they took steps back, and
well,
KD
well
very much rose to the occasion.
the thing is, once again, people ignore context. So
Yeah,
the Warriors, they're a great team. They're coming into their own. 2014, 2015, if I'm not mistaken, they played the Spurs. Steph Curry injures his ankle. That's it for that series. The very next year is the 2013, 2014. Steph Curry injures his ankle. And then 2014, 2015, that was the year they took the next step and they made it to the finals. And this isn't a but or anything. This is just the facts.
yeah,
The Warriors didn't play a healthy backcourt in the playoffs at all. They didn't play a single healthy backcourt. That was very fortuitous. It happens every playoffs. Every run is fortuitous. These are just the facts. It gets to the Cavs and they play the cat or they gets to the finals and they play the Cavs. Obviously, Kevin Love had already been taken out by Kelly Olynyk, who basically pulled his shoulder out of socket earlier in their
oh
series.
yeah, he wild out on him.
Wow for them. And then obviously, Kyrie gets hurt, I think, with a kneecap injury in game 1. Bron goes on to extend the series to 6 games, runs out of gas, obviously. There's a lot of bodies to get thrown at him. A younger Iguodala, a younger Draymond, Klay Thompson, Sean Livingston. He's got a lot of guys that they can throw at him. So, and they should win that series. You should win a series if you have your 3 best players and the other team doesn't have 2 of theirs. You should win that series.
More often than
No matter
not,
how
yes.
good that one is. Yeah, no matter how good that one is, if you guys are NBA stars, you should win. Then, granted, they come back, they're on their revenge tour, they're blowing people out. Steph Curry takes another step forward. They break the record, but obviously they lose to the Cavs. They get KD after beating them in the playoffs. They get KD, and he really allows them to take that next step because at the time, like there were still talks about like you can get physical with Steph, and that can halter him, that can bother him, that can be rough for him as far as the play. And in the playoffs, they let him play a little bit more, and that was a talk about him. Like you can just rough him up a little bit. That doesn't work anymore. I think that year, so the year after KD left, everybody got hurt, basically.
Yeah.
But the direct year after that, where it was just Steph really, because Klay was still hurt and Draymond was kind of in and out, and Steph had got them to the play-in. He put on a lot of strength. You know what I mean? Strengthen his core, all of that. Like he's not the same player that he was. Like that doesn't work. Steph is solid now. Like that's a solid dude. He's post. Yeah, like that. This version of Steph, I will put like he can be on the. I think him and KD are right there. But like at the time, KD was clearly the better player in my opinion. I mean, he's 7 feet tall, can guard damn near all positions, at least in the modern day NBA for the most part, unless it's like a Giannis or Embiid or a Jokic. And then he can guard guards because he has that long wingspan. So, oh man.
And then the Golden State years is when people started seeing like that defensive prowess.
Yeah, he was a
all
rim
over that
protector.
court. Yeah.
They turned him into a rim protector. And even now he's averaging 1.5 blocks a game. But yeah, one of the best, man. One of the very best. People gonna talk shit regardless because of one, the decision to go to the Warriors, which obviously we can talk about it. I didn't like it. I thought what I thought about it, but I didn't think what I thought about it because the Warriors won 73 games. my problem with it always came from just a competitor standpoint of you just lost to this team that you should have beat.
Yeah.
But even at the end of the day, people want to talk about this and that, but at the end of the day, he still had to perform, and he did. And
Yeah,
people
because
want to
if
talk,
he went over there and lost, no one would have cared.
yeah, it's like, and people want to talk about, well, it was easy to perform, but here's the thing, and I'm gonna bring up somebody else. I'm gonna bring up my guy. And that's really my defense. That's my defense when I talk about Kevin, because it's like, I'm a LeBron guy, but LeBron did not play well in that 2011 Finals. They were the heavy favorite to win. They should have won, regardless of how well Dirk was playing. They should have won, and they did not because
Yeah.
he still didn't play well. KD could have went there and not played well. He still played well. He played amazing. Like, yeah, they were going to win, but it's not like LeBron and Kyrie weren't dropping buckets that first year. Like, they were both averaging probably still like 30 in the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
chips are chips, man. I mean, listen. If people want to have the argument that certain chips mean more, of course, sure. Kawhi Leonard winning Toronto's first chip, to me, is going to have more weight than KD's first ring, where they just ran through everybody and nobody could compete.
Yeah.
They were so talented. But a ring is a ring. A chip is a chip.
Yeah.
It's neither. There's no bigger chip than the other per se. There's more perceived
One's more memorable.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. There's more perceived like memory, and like when it comes to that, but like if your name says champion under it, that's what it is, and that's what he is 2 times. So
Yeah.
he need to get another one at this point, because we need to stop this right now. And it's so crazy because like the talk was all about Kurt. Like, if you remember the year before, the year that like everybody was hurt on the Nets, and he was really pushing the Bucks to 7 games and really carrying
By himself,
Yeah,
bro.
and it was just like y'all. And then at that time, the argument was, "Oh, Steph only has his rings because of KD." Like, bro, when did it become popular?
Yeah.
When did it
The
become
goalpost just
popular?
moves every single time.
When did it become popular to like punish a player because his teammate plays well? like, he's my teammate. He's supposed to. It's no different than like the LeBron criticizers, the Skip Baylesses of the world that say, "Oh, Ray Allen saved his career." He's his teammate. He made a shot. He did what he's supposed to do. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He still got paid to play at the end of the day. Whether he was playing with Allen or Shane Batty had to take that shot. Somebody had to do their job. That was all that was.
Shit crazy, man. It's frustrating. Do you have anything to say about this Nets team and where you see it going?
Yeah.
Or I guess, what do you
Well,
like that you've been seeing?
well, like we kind of discussed in prior ones. I knew that the way Ben was like coming back from like the injury, still probably dealing with, well, not the injury, but like just the medium hiatus that he went on, or long hiatus, should I say? But all that stuff, it was gonna take a minute for him to like really like get back lock in. Now I feel like he's locked back in, and the construction of this team was always a team where you could definitely see them being at the top, because you have two of the greatest scorers at their positions historically, with like Kyrie Irving, when he's locked in on ball, is very hard to guard. KD is just getting better with age. You put that with someone who, like defensively, is still one of the better defenders at his height, being like 6'11", 6'10". Play makes maybe a little too much, because sometimes he'd be passing up some wide open shots. But a team constructed like that, if they can all get that rolling, and Ben Simmons can at least get like a tad more aggressive, like at least close to like that Sixers range, where if you had a dunk, you take it. And then any other time, it's like, okay, like now they're guarding the drive. Then you break them down with a bounce pass, or you get to looking with your eyes a lot more. If they can stay consistent, that's another team that literally I feel can beat just about anybody. Because, like you said, KD by himself pushed the Bucks to 7. It only really lost because his shoe was bigger than the average human. If that was a 3, the whole this competition would be a lot different at this point, as far as like where he'd probably be in the layout of things.
That's
But
facts. Because if that was the case, Chris Paul might have himself a ring.
well, they probably would have won. Yeah, the Suns probably definitely would have won that series. They
I mean,
definitely. Yeah,
KD,
so it's like,
KD's a force, but like he's not like he's a mismatch for everybody. But it's a different mismatch as far as like Giannis being able to not be guarded by people. Like KD's gonna get jump shots.
yeah,
Giannis is just dunking. It's a different type of situation.
yeah.
But yeah,
Giannis just went through Ayton. I don't think KD was going through like all of the pieces that Phoenix had, and then plus single handedly, I don't think that would have been possible. But
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
also though, they don't have Drew Holiday.
yeah,
That was a huge. Drew Holiday was a absolute menace, especially for the Suns. He would like he gave Devin Booker and Chris Paul hell. I mean, just hell.
bro was in them.
Like I remember that highlight where he just like straight took the ball from Devin Booker on that and then went on a fast break and threw that oop to Giannis. This shit is crazy. They really
They really just
But Drew,
dominated.
honestly, Drew's known for having good playoff performances. Honestly, if we really think about it, he had a great playoff performance when he was with the Pelicans when they had AD and they swept the Trailblazers. So yeah,
Like that was a
he
wild series. Yeah,
yeah. But just give my man Easy Money Snapper his respect, man, because he's not gonna be
yeah,
playing forever. Give him his respect.
yeah. Rain conversations is OD. It's OD.
OD, bro. Everybody can't be in a situation to win a ring. It is a team sport.
Mm. But
What else?
I have to kind of spinning back to so that
I was asking.
but it kind of spinning back to like the whole Grizzlies thing as far as young teams talking trash. Like, we've seen it with the Grizzlies so far. We kind of did see it with the Hawks also this past. I think it was when they played the Rockets, right? I think they lost that game.
Yeah, they did lose that game. You're right.
Yeah, so it's like
It's really just those two
overall,
teams.
yeah. What
I mean, I guess the
like the
Suns
Grizzlies, I
talk
kind
too.
of get it. At least the Grizzlies kind of got like a slight more of a reason to.
They
But
don't.
the Hawks,
They
the
don't.
Hawks ain't really
The
done
Hawks.
nothing though.
The Hawks have made the conference final. This iteration of the Hawks has made the conference finals. They went 7 games, or they went. Was it 6 or 7 games with the Bucks?
I think it was 6.
And Trae Young got hurt. Like some of that series, he didn't
Yeah,
even play. So like they got more to talk about than the Grizzlies do. Especially how like the Grizzlies really shouldn't have beat the Timberwolves last year. Timberwolves just don't know how to play playoff basketball.
bro, they beat themselves. That was so damn. that was-
They had like 3 20-point leads in games that they lost. Shit was crazy.
yeah. Like I said, yeah, integration things. Yeah, the Suns did kind of have that. They had their moments. Well, yeah, the past 2 years, people have hated the Suns, and they've
Yeah,
kind of
people hate
had
the
their
Suns,
moments of like, yeah,
but people hate Chris Paul.
yeah.
Here's what I say: it's the first ballot Hall of Famer, top 5 player at his position ever. It's okay if he might be a little bit dirty. It's okay. He is a little bit dirty. I'm not gonna hold you. He's been known to throw a little bow here and there, do a little extra here and there. I get it. He's not the first Hall of Fame dirty player, and he won't be the last.
I feel like
Dwayne
I feel
Wade
like he's
was
been doing
kind
it for
of low
years
key
though.
dirty.
So it's like, yeah.
Dwayne Wade was kind of low key dirty. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
James
shoot,
Harden is kind
yeah. James Harden. Oh, he for sure. The way his Euro step is, I've seen multiple people get elbowed and still have to sit there and watch him take free throws. Like it's, I feel like
exactly.
at that point, it's like, shoot, they say Giannis is a bully. He'll land on you. Like, at some point, everybody's gonna have like that moment of yeah, it's moments of willpower or enforcing of will.
Yeah, man. I mean, teams talking shit without accomplishing anything. I mean, you can talk all the shit you want to. It's just gonna make you look silly if you're talking in the type of way that makes it seem like you didn't win something, or even like that you're like really battle tested. Because like the Grizzlies, I mean, yeah, they went to the playoffs, but they're not even really battle tested. If we're being honest, like
Yeah.
they haven't been in like any. I mean, I can't even say they've been in like any really grind out series because they should have lost the Timberwolves one. They were just that just wasn't a good series, honestly. Just bad, blown leads, all type of shit. Then when they play the Warriors, I mean, Ja gets hurt, so it's kind of like, okay, we don't even really know how we would have adjusted. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's like there has to be a fine line between it. I understand, like, or at least I feel like with like maybe at least in a way with like Trey Young, it could be perceived as like, okay, like he's just really that confident in his own game, and like, the nights you're doing good, you really want to let
Cocky.
people know that. Yeah.
Trey Young is a cocky motherfucker for sure, but he
Yeah,
ain't.
I
But
feel like
he,
him going to New York, I feel like people should have realized like that was always in him, but now it's like people are just now the NBA fans were starting to see it. I feel like that's been there for years.
but I
Like,
say that. I'm gonna say, but Trey's been like that since Oklahoma, so that's why I'm like,
yeah,
okay, he's really always been like that. And there's plenty of people that's been saying that, like that's just he's a cocky son of a gun. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna be consistent, whatever. And even still, like, he not doing what the other one was doing. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Which I
because
don't
he,
know if
if you
that's
want to talk
always been
about,
in him. I don't know where that came from.
I guess he got out of, he got out of the Popovich shadow and went crazy.
Started going on trips and started bopping people with the ball.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, he's cold for sure. I would never act like he's not a cold hooper just because I don't like what he's doing on the court. He's definitely cold as hell. But to be doing that stuff and to be doing it to teams like mid game and then lose, you just look like a clown. And it's not even necessary.
Which that's the crazy part about it. It's like I said, like people know he's solid. So it's like, what's the point of making it more or less like? I mean, obviously there's a lot of players, a lot of that are antic filled. Like I mean, Draymond is literally, he'll clap mid game, bunch of chirping or whatever. Like being antic filled really isn't like that crazy in the grand scheme of things. But at least in his case, it's like I feel like he's over the border with it. Like it's OD.
I agree. I agree. They better get their ass to the playoffs. I think right now, currently, they're the 6th seed, I want to say. But I mean, the parity right now in the NBA is it's pretty solid. Like, yeah, it's gonna start getting separated for sure. Like teams are gonna start separating themselves. But even like we're about a third of the way of the season, a little bit more actually, and I like that it's been relatively competitive. I mean, both number one seeds are only separated by what is that 5 and yeah, both number one seeds are basically separated by like 5 to 6 games from 1 to 8 in the loss column. So
Yeah.
it's been a competitive season, man. People been going at it.
Yeah. I actually did not realize that the Pacers were eighth.
Yeah, no, the Pacers are a good young team. I've been kind of holding off on saying certain things, but we're like I said, we're more than a third of the way. We're almost halfway through the season. So I mean,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
shoot,
not
All
gonna
Star Week is
say,
in 2 months, pretty much.
yeah, I'm not gonna say that they're gonna make the playoffs because they do have Miami and Toronto under them, and Chicago too if they get their shit together. But they're definitely competitive, and they have a lot of things to build on. I mean, a lot with Matherin, Halliburton. What's the other guard's name? The other kid,
Oh yeah, Nimhard.
Nimhard. Yeah. So I mean, it really, honestly, I wouldn't even be in a. I know they probably still will be doing so, but I wouldn't be in a rush to trade um, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, to be honest,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
way it's looking, like Tyrese looks like he's going to be, um, at the very least, a perennial All Star. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
yeah,
stop short of superstar. I'm gonna stop short of that. But
yeah,
he looks like he's going to be a perennial All Star, like a 20 and 10 type of guy for his entire career. And then
yeah,
you have Benedict, who is still only a rookie, but he's got good size for a guard. He can be the two. That's your backcourt for your future, basically. So and even and like yeah, they're like yes, Miles Turner is a little bit older, but Miles is still only 26. So we're being honest, he can
oh
really match.
yeah. He
They
does
can
have a
kind of
lot of time.
overlap. Yeah, they can overlap their timelines. I mean, Buddy is 30, but he's not like a necessarily a building block, so he can still be a very pivotal player or even like a piece to move.
Yeah,
But yeah, I wouldn't be in a rush to just get rid of him now from based off of what I've seen, you know, from these guys because it looks like you have you got a good core.
yeah.
Now
Especially with
Nip,
guys like Kendall Brown, who I don't think have even really touched the court yet. I feel like they have
right.
a lot of endless potential.
Now you're not gonna keep all of these guys for sure. So uh they've got a bunch of guards that are young. So I mean Halliburton, Matherin, Nimhard, and Duarte, like these guys aren't all these guys aren't gonna stay for sure. Duarte probably I wouldn't be surprised if Duarte would probably go on within the year. Especially because he's not playing he doesn't play as much anymore.
Yeah. Plus the height factor you would have if you just kept Nimhard, Halliburton, and Matherin. I think shoot Nimhard is like 6'5", 6'6", I think.
Nice.
Oh, he's 6'3", yeah, 6'3",
yeah,
yeah,
they got him
6'3".
6'3". I mean
Yeah,
if you think that Benedict could run at the three, I mean he's 210, 6'5". It's still a little light. And he's still a little small for me, honestly. He's not a forward. He can play the three, but like you can't get it. I don't think you can get away with him being the three like every night.
yeah. I'm most likely gonna have to swap down, which I feel like that's the only real position that they really gonna have to really evaluate, like forward. 'Cause, like right now they be playing Neesmith, and I don't think that's long term good. But
No, he's been playing well, but like that's just not. He's literally just not a forward. He's a guard.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean like they've been good though. They've been a nice surprise. Tyrese has shown that you know he can be that guy. He can be the focal facilitator on a team, and they have a good future, man. They really do. I mean, I'd probably say, I mean, shit. Besides the Cavs, they probably have the. Well, yeah, I'm not actually. I'm not gonna say that, but they just have a bright future. Because I started
yeah.
looking at the other teams because like
Yeah, but I mean, at this current
I
moment, I
looked
mean, yeah, it's like Cavs, Pacers, Magic are actually look like their future's gonna be really, really solid. Bull and
that's
Banchero.
why I stopped short because I looked at the Magic. I even looked at the Pistons too. I mean, I know you're questioning the fit, but like
It
that's
looks good
still
right now.
that's still Cade and Jay Ivy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's still that. So, but I mean, the Pacers are
Killian's starting to look
the
better.
only
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, the Pacers are the only ones out of those three that are putting it together relatively. I know the Magic have been really good in their last 10 games. like really good.
You're like
But
8-2
I'm
in the
still
last
not
10.
ready. Yeah. And I, hey, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you it's Markel. But you didn't ask me, so it's fine.
Oh, he's healthy too. Yeah, he's healthy. Yeah, very much important.
He's been hooping.
Yeah.
He's been hooping. Also, but their team is very exciting. I guess we're gonna pivot slightly because I definitely want to. Man, listen, only Franz, only Franz.
Hey.
That's that's the nickname that I'm gonna roll with. That's hard. Only Franz. He been very good.
One of the
Cole's
brighter
been very
spots from that draft class, bro. One of the brighter spots.
yeah. Franz has been very good. Oh, obviously along with Paulo, like their front court wings they're solidified for the next 10 plus years. Like because
Yeah.
they both can play defense. They're both 6'10" and 6'11", and they're mobile. And they both can guard like 2 through 4. So it's like
Yeah. That's crazy to think. To pull that
yeah,
off is crazy. Like, because Franz Loki in a redraft is probably going like I think he was. I
he
think in
was
the
still
first
pretty high.
draft he went. Yeah, I want to say he was like top 15.
He was 8. No, Franz was 8.
Oh, he was 8.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
he was
wow.
he
I don't
was
know why
he
I
was,
was like you
he
think
was
he
a
was
high
lower
pick.
than that. Yeah.
He was a high pick, top 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for I didn't see it, but they didn't. I mean, that's why I'm not that's why I'm not a scout. Because I mean, he came in with like I do remember that they were talking about his defensive potential and how he was going to be an impact defender immediately coming in. And excuse me, I mean
Yeah.
but the offense and like just the offensive flow and creativity is there now too. Quickly, like bro's having a great year. I think he's averaging like damn near 20 points a game. And then obviously we don't. I mean we see what we see with Paulo. I mean that's a bucket and a half.
I didn't expect him to be this consistent this early.
I think. I mean I didn't either. But I think a large part. I feel like if I would have been able to see his perimeter skills more on display at Duke, I might have expected it. But I just didn't know he really had that type of game. I was really comparing like I know in our earlier pods we were really talking about. We were really comparing him to like Smith and Chet, and he's really not the same type of player. Like those are legit like damn near bigs.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? So like but tweeners that are more on like the big side. Like this dude he's a wing. Like he's a Jason Tatum, Mello, Michael Beasley type of player. Like
Yeah,
that's what he is. Like
it's like
he
a wing
uses
you
his
can
size
get
really
away with it
well. But
before. Yeah.
I mean, you can get away with him at the 3. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean that's what they should be. They should really be playing. Well, actually, it depends. If they're playing Franz Wagner at the 2, then yeah, Paulo at the 3 is fine. Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing right now because they've been playing. They've been having Bobo at the 4 when he starts, and
What
then they've
Wendell?
been having Mowags at the center spot, which also uh no Mo Wagner, Franz Wagner's brother,
Oh yeah.
but he's been playing well too, honestly, which is not something I really
I mean,
expected.
he was always a stretch, but I mean, Franz is definitely the better out of the two. But
I don't know for sure, but like no,
Mo, yeah,
he's
yeah,
Mo's
Mo's been
playing.
in his old years. He can shoot.
I would say that this is probably his best year so far.
Yeah,
Like Mo's playing really well, in my opinion. Now he's not. I don't know. I don't anticipate him being the quote unquote starter just because like they're pretty deep at center. Honestly, it just depends on who they want to commit to.
yeah.
I mean, they still have Wendell, who was playing well before he went out with injury. I want to say, he is he hurt? Is he still hurt?
Who Isaac?
No, Wendell Carter.
Oh, and Yeah, I don't think he's played the last. Yeah, that's just probably why Mo's starting because I think Wendell is injured.
You see. Um, yeah. No, he played. He just don't start. I remember maybe he's coming off of maybe he's coming off of injury, but he played 18 minutes
Yeah,
a couple days ago. But I mean, yeah, that's a good player too. So you got Wendell, and then obviously you still have Mo Bamba, and then you have Jonathan Isaac somewhere whenever he decides to.
yeah,
And then you got players like Admiral Schofield, who's shown some good flashes too.
yeah. And they still got their vets. They got Terrence Ross. You got Gary Harris. Like, it's a lot of things. Shoot, even like I think it's Chumo KK. I think I heard they say it like that. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of promise with this Magic team for their future.
Oh, absolutely. And it starts with those wings, those wings though. Franz and Paulo. That's that's gonna be a problem, bro. Everything else is just icing on the cake. Seeing how Bobo's
Yeah,
right now is icing on the cake. Markel coming back healthy and playing well, icing on the cake. Cole Anthony coming back and playing how he's been playing, icing on the cake. So yeah, they dangerous, man. They dangerous.
yeah.
Everybody's still relatively young too. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get that Markel Fultz jersey.
The Barkel Fultz. Yeah, yeah, they should be selling those.
Shit. 4 years they gonna be contending. Yeah, I
Ah,
said it.
yeah. I ain't gonna lie, the East gonna look so different in 4 years.
Oh yeah. No, in 4 years, Giannis will be gone. I'm calling it. KD will probably be retired. Joel will probably be on his last leg because he's just big as hell.
Yeah.
James will be old as shit too, if he's even still playing.
I know Jimmy would be close to being done for sure.
Yeah, no, Jimmy will be close to being done if he's not already. DeMar will be gone. Zach will be gone. Brad will be older, and the Wizards team will probably be way different. They'll either be really good or really bad, or he'll be gone just in general.
Yeah.
LaMelo will be gone from the Hornets because I don't think he's gonna stay there. Yeah,
Melo just leaves immediately.
if fuck around look like Boston, Cleveland, Orlando, Atlanta type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, cause shit, even
Couple teams on the
in
fringe.
in 3 years, Jason Tatum will be what 27. That's wild to think about.
Wow. That is actually wild.
Been in the league. He feel like he's been in the league so long, and he's like he comes off as very like mature as far as his game and his demeanor. But yeah, that'll be like his mid prime year, 27. Shit, he's
Yeah,
already.
because right now, if he did it at 24, it's like imagine 27.
So he averaging 30 right now at 24. So that was
Yeah.
another thing I feel. We talk about these guys, and we're at this point we're not giving them the grace that we've given other all time greats. And I know it's the social media era that created this, but it's just like guys. Jason Tatum's 24. Luka's 23. Mike didn't get his first ring until he was 28. LeBron 27. You know what I mean? Like it's okay.
Yeah. Or even like the
You're not
younger
going.
players
You're not.
that like got time to develop. It's like, shoot, I don't even think LaMelo was like 20.
He's probably 22.
Yeah, 22, I think. Oh, 21. Wow. That is crazy.
Well, you're right, 21, and this is his
Yeah.
third year.
Yeah, I believe third year. It's like a
Yeah,
lot.
bro.
It's like a lot of these guys really have like. Shoot, I think even Simons came in at like 19. So it's like, and this is
Yeah.
like his third. 4th year. So it's like a lot of these guys have a long way to go as far as like their development and when or if they win a championship.
And
So
especially when it pertains to specifically Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic, who their games for one isn't predicated on athleticism, and they're not super uber athletic to begin with. Like Jason Tatum's gonna age like Paul Pierce. This is gonna be just straight slow buckets on his own pace. Like,
yeah, eventually it's gonna turn into just him pulling up over people at this point. Like it's
I mean, bro is 6'9", so I mean, yeah,
pulling up, getting the occasional dunk.
he's probably he'll refine his post game because like I said, he's got good size. I mean, they say he's 6'8", but I'm pretty sure Jason Tatum is closer to 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah, frame wise, he looks like he's closer to
And
6'9".
obviously Luka, you know, big
Yeah,
hefty,
Luka like 6'6", right? 6'7".
6'7", yeah.
Yeah.
Shit is crazy.
Yeah, the
The NBA
future
is
of
in good.
basketball definitely. Yeah, they're in good hands. You still got Vic on the way in, Scoot, Thompson twins. it's it's finna get crazy. How did I think about it? That's finna be nutty. But I guess that kind of
Game isn't good. Yeah.
yeah. I guess that kind of wraps it up for this week. But yeah, game is in good hands, like you were saying. But yeah, season getting to that midway point. Obviously, right now, very tight race between 1 through 8, but eventually, probably around All Star Weekend, we'll probably start seeing like who really stakes their claim to certain seedings, whether it be like locking up that first or just really stretching away with the record. But trying to figure. Oh dang, I just lost my track. But as always, you can follow the podcast on socials at Going for Three Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Where could these fine people find you at?
Always at Christy Collins on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at PTP_99. Appreciate you guys for listening, and we will see you all on the next one. Peace.